Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. This rundown is going out to our friend Carrie Dustin, who says, I was fortunate enough to run into Carrie Fisher 3 times during one of her final fan expos, and she was always respectful and a genuine nice person, and hopes that Carrie Fisher gets the proper send-off in episode 9 that I think we all do. Yes? Let's get started with Carrie's rundown. Things are looking pretty good for the video game industry right about now. Sony and Nintendo have released the latest sales figures for the PS4 and the Switch. First up, the PS4 shipped 3.2 million units from April to June of this year, bringing the system's total lifetime sales up to 82.2 million units. That number is just shy of the 83 million units sold by the PS3 since 2006, which means the PS4 will have overtaken its predecessor in less than 5 years. Sales for the PS4 have started to slow down when compared to the same time period last year, but the good news is that software sales have actually spiked up a bit, thanks largely to big first-party exclusives like the new God of War.
You do not know everything, boy.
Over to the Switch, Nintendo has announced that the new system has sold 19.6 million units as of June 30th. That is exactly what Nintendo predicted last year, saying that there would be 20 million Switches in homes by the end of the fiscal 2018 year. This makes the Switch one of the fastest-selling consoles in history, although, like the PS4, sales have dipped slightly compared to the same period last year. That shouldn't come as a surprise, given that the initial launch frenzy surrounding the Switch has died off a bit, but expect sales to spike up once again this fall with the release of the new Smash Bros. And Pokemon games. And why shouldn't these consoles be selling like crazy? The PlayStation 4 has had a madly successful launch and run, and there's so many great games that you can point to. Sony has spent a ton on great exclusives and is paying off for them in dividends. It's a very profitable part of the Sony business overall, which is great news. And, I feel like Sony's gambles have really paid off there, as have Nintendo's. I think Nintendo learned a tremendous amount from the Wii U. I think it surprised them how much people were ready for the idea of the Nintendo Switch. I think that there were skeptical people out there, maybe legitimately skeptical people out there that were feeling a little bit burned by the Wii U, but the Switch, right from the get-go, right from that January commercial last year to the early reveals and early hands-on, has been nothing short of sensational. And then when you couple that with incredible software like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, it's becoming an irrefutable platform to pick up. And I'm really curious, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, if many of you own 2 consoles like the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Switch, because they pair up so nicely. But congrats to both PlayStation and to Nintendo, and of course the big question mark is, how is the Xbox One doing? I think what Xbox has had to kind of grapple with and deal with is the fallout and the repercussions of being attached to the Kinect hardware and all the software that was associated with that just not sort of hitting with the same kind of punch that Microsoft was banking on. That's all in the rear view now. Microsoft is making some big investments on their own exclusives and their own first-party developers. So I think we're going to start to see things trending upward for Xbox. And, quite frankly, things like the backwards compatibility and the Game Pass that Xbox One has made that system really, really attractive as well. So kudos to everybody that's making games in the console space right now. You're doing some great, great things, and gamers everywhere are very happy. All big thumbs up. Now, more than one new Star Trek movie is in the works, but we might have to wait a while to see them. Scotty himself, Simon Pegg, has revealed new details about the future of the big screen Trek franchise. Speaking with the Edmonton Journal, Pegg confirmed rumors that Paramount Pictures currently has 2 different Star Trek movies in development simultaneously. One of them is a 4th installment of the current J.J. Abrams-produced series, and the other is the rumored film slated to be helmed by Quentin Tarantino. Pegg thinks that the Tarantino project, if it materializes, is still at least 5 or 6 years away, with Tarantino currently busy with his latest movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In the meantime, the other more conventional Trek movie is being developed by British filmmaker S.J. Clarkson, who's directed episodes of TV shows like Jessica Jones and Orange is the New Black. Pegg thinks that film will arrive first, although it has yet to be given an official green light, so we'll have to wait and see. The last film in the series, Star Trek Beyond, was met with a lukewarm reception, so Paramount might be taking their time to figure out how to proceed. Yeah, I was one of those that was very lukewarm on Star Trek Beyond. I really liked JJ's first Star Trek film. The second one was ridiculous, and the third one was trying to be too action-packed, and it was just too silly. Kirk doing jumps on motorbikes just bugged me. But there were some cool things in it, and I love that cast. I love that they're aging into their roles, and they're sort of, owning it and claiming it. They just need a better movie. They need a movie that, just makes every doubter and cynic, put their thumbs up and say, yeah, this is really cool. There's some great groundwork laid there. I just want to see a definitive Trek movie with this cast, which isn't an origin story, which isn't sort of setting everything up. This has to kind of, be these actors and these characters on a mission. And it's not like a big Star Wars mission. That's, it has to feel like a Star Trek experience. So I'm very curious to see where this goes. I'd also love to see what Quentin Tarantino comes up with a Star Trek flick. I know he's a fan of the franchise. That sounds crazy, but it might just work. The Battle Royale mode in the new Call of Duty game is looking like a Battle Royale mode, go figure. Activision and Treyarch have released a new trailer for Black Ops 4, showing the first gameplay footage from the new Battle Royale mode, Blackout. There isn't much to see, but yep, it really does look like a Battle Royale mode, complete with a massive map, team play, and vehicles. A multiplayer beta for Black Ops 4 begins this Friday on the PS4, with the Xbox One and PC joining a week later, although the Blackout mode isn't included. Blackout will instead be getting its own beta in September. The final version of Black Ops 4 deploys in October. I'm very curious to play this Blackout mode. I hope it's a tremendous amount of fun, and I hope it's incredibly polished. I mean, that's what that team is capable of. That's what we expect of them. They are a big studio with the budgets to back them up. That's a lot of B's. And hopefully this one turns into something special and something that we can all kind of rally around, like Fortnite and PUBG have had with their respective successes. We'll see. I mean, they've got some pretty stiff competition in these Battle Royale kind of, outfitted franchises, and they've got to come with a really big game. They've got to come with something that is going to appeal, especially because there's no single player. They've got to come with something that's going to appeal to everybody and bring people into it. It's also a mature rated experience with the blood and the gore that Call of Duty has always had attached to it, so it's not going to be able to bring in the younger folk like Fortnite might be able to do. But I think that the gameplay should be really, really slick, really solid, and diverse, with lots and lots of great elements added into this Call of Duty world. I'm excited for it. I'm really excited. I want to see what Treyarch has got up their sleeves. Now, speaking of glorified military violence, we haven't seen the last of Jack Bauer or the 24 franchise. Deadline reports that Fox is developing a 24 prequel that will focus on a younger version of counterterrorism operative Jack Bauer. No official announcements have been made, but the site claims that the new series is currently being written by 24 co-creators Joel Surnow and Bob Cochran, along with producer Howard Gordon. If it gets the green light, it wouldn't be the first attempt at a 24 comeback. The Bauer-less revival, 24 Legacy, aired last year, but failed to live up to its predecessor and was canceled after just one season. Original star Kiefer Sutherland has stated several times that he's done with the franchise, so making a prequel would obviously allow a new and younger actor to fill the role. Expect more details soon. Don't forget that the 24 franchise is about to have a new owner, Disney. Their acquisition of Fox has just been approved by shareholders, so it will likely be finished by mid-2019. Now, I don't know if the Disney-owned version of Fox would allow for the same amount of torture that was in episodes of 24 when Kiefer Sutherland was running things. It was a really cool show for sure, but it definitely would feel a little out of touch and unsympathetic in 2018 when there is a lot of political strife happening in the world right now. To see a guy running around and having to torture people to get information out of them would be a little bit weird, but maybe this is pre-torture Jack Bauer, and it's more adventure, and we start to get an understanding of how he came upon his worldview and his ability to kind of suss out the bad people out there and take people down. But who's he going to call? Is Chloe still going to be there? Because you got to have Chloe, send me the blueprints. We need scenes like that, but if we don't have that, it's going to be weird. As a 24 fan, I'm very curious to see what happens here. I'm also very curious to see what happens with Fox, with the Disney approval. I mean, they got to rubber stamp these things, and they got to say yes, and it might be a little bit weird putting that one together. But the 24 show was a damn cool show when it came out. Lots of cheeseball episodes, lots of things that made me squirm. but lots of great ideas in that show too. Now, the small screen DC universe continues to expand with loads of crazy characters. New details have come in about the live-action Doom Patrol series. Orange is the New Black actress Diane Guerrero has been cast as the troubled superhero Crazy Jane and will appear as one of the main characters. Crazy Jane was created by Grant Morrison and Richard Case in 1989, and like all the other members of the Doom Patrol team, she's an unconventional hero whose gifts have made her an outcast. She suffers from multiple personality disorder, with each of her personalities possessing a unique superpower. Doom Patrol will premiere next year exclusively on the streaming service DC Universe. In other DC casting news, Variety reports that Glow star and prolific podcaster Mark Maron has joined the cast of the new Joker movie. He will reportedly play one of the characters who helps drive the Joker mad and will join other cast members like Robert De Niro, Francis Conroy, and Joaquin Phoenix as the Clown Prince of Crime. That begins filming soon and will hit theaters next year. Mark Maron has impressed the hell out of me on Glow. That guy is a serious actor. He's very, very good. He's got lots of comedic chops. He's got a vulnerability. Very impressive work on Glow, and I'm excited to see this guy take another role big time. I don't know how he's going to differentiate himself from what he's been doing with Glow and what he does with his stand-up comedy and stuff like that. But I'm very impressed. The guy's got it. As for the Doom Patrol show and the investments that DC is making across the board, I mean, they're really trying. That's what I really dig about this. And as a DC fan, it's really fun to see all of these different properties pop up like this. It's crazy that there's a Doom Patrol show on the way. That's a kind of an obscure property, but I've read some of the early comics, the early Doom Patrol stuff. Metamorpho is an interesting character. I am super psyched to see what happens here, you know? Same with the Titans TV show, even though I was a bit put off by the F Batman comment. I'm super, psyched as a fan of Teen Titans to see what happens with that show. I love the Teen Titans animated movie. It's making me want to go and binge all the Teen Titans Go animated episodes. So even if the DCEU in cinematic form is kind of, a boat without a captain, it just seems to just be drifting around a little bit, trying to find its way. There's a lot of good stuff coming on other screens, and it's a good time to be a comic book fan, a good time to be a DC fan. Now, speaking of comic book movies, over in the Marvel Universe, Sony has just released the new Venom trailer. I have not seen it yet. Let's do a little reaction video right here in the rundown. Let's take a look at this brand new trailer. All right.
I'm Eddie Brock.
I'm Eddie Brock.
Reporter. I always seem to find myself
questioning
something the government may not be looking at.
Tom Hardy's voices, man.
I found something.
Something. He's doing Christopher Walken. What's happening?
And I have been... Eddie. Who said that?
I've been taken.
Look around at the world. What do you see? A planet on the brink of collapse. Human beings are disposable. But man and symbiote combined. This is a new race, a new species. A higher life form.
What do you want from me?
You'll find out.
I'm so sorry.
So he's gonna be an anti-hero a little bit.
We cannot just hurt people.
Look into my eyes, Eddie. The way I see it.
That's cool.
We can do
It's cool.
whatever we want. Do we have a deal? Eyes, lungs, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time.
Oh.
That power, it's not completely awful.
You have no idea how much you're scaring me right now.
Eddie, cooperate. And you just might survive.
Guys, you do not want to do this, trust me.
Giant leaps will always come at a cost.
I sure like how dark it is. I gotta say that.
We will eat both your arms and then both of your legs, and then we will eat your face right off your head. You will be this armless, legless, faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
Oh, I have a parasite. Yeah. Name is Chen.
I'm a parasite. Yeah, he's doing Christopher Walken. It's a pretty weird Christopher Walken impression, but he looks like he's having fun. I like that it isn't loaded with lots and lots of. Now I'm starting to do Christopher Walken too. I like that it isn't loaded with lots and lots of colors like the last Spider-Man movie, which just seemed crazy. I see what they're doing there. They've got it's like the Incredible Hulk. It's like he's the anti-hero with these massive powers that he can't quite control, but he's gonna do right, even if he's gonna stumble and bumble through it a little bit. He looks like he's gonna be fun to watch on screen. I like Tom Hardy. He's a great actor, but man, he does some crazy voices. That was a decent trailer. That was decent. You know, I think it honors the property quite well in terms of, it looks like one of the Todd McFarlane kind of renderings of Venom, which is the right direction, and it separates itself from previous Sony superhero stuff. It's weird that it's not in the MCU. It's weird that it's not in the Spider-Man universe, but I think it could be fun. I think it looks all right. They didn't fill the film with lots and lots of super famous celebrities to make it like the all-star supercast out there. So it looks like most of the budget was spent on the look and the feel and the effects. So hopefully that all comes together. But that was an okay trailer. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. That's going to do it for our rundown today. Remember, we've got lots of other content for you to check out, so please do. And if you dig it, don't forget to hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, we've got that sponsorship button too. We'll see you tomorrow with a brand new EP Live. Thanks for watching, everybody. Play forever.